Welcome to this week's episode of Makeup Mimosas. Today we have actress, model, host, and future mogul Jaimi in the studio. Stay tuned and find out what she's been up to. So we have Jaimi here with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right into it. I want to know, do you have an embarrassing makeup moment?
I was like, where do I begin? I would definitely say, maybe there was a couple and they both have to do with my mom. But I try to be slick because I wasn't allowed to wear makeup when I was younger. I mean, and I was probably like 15 or 16, which is still like, okay, you can't wear makeup. That just was the rule in my house. And so I tried to be slick one day and put on some eyeliner and, wipe it off before I got home. And so right when I walked in the door, my mom was like, "You have makeup on?" And I was like, No, of course not. So she walked into the other room and I'm like, she comes back with
the thickest belt.
No, a paper towel with lotion on it. And was just like,
God.
And I was like, I was embarrassed.
You didn't get it all off?
No, of course not. And then now that I wear makeup, I'm like, duh, that was a no-brainer. You had eyeliner on. Like, you didn't even know.
You didn't use no baby oil, no wipes, no nothing.
It was a mess.
Do you remember the first time you wore a red lip?
Oh, the first time I wore a red lip. Wet and Wild. Sometime Wet and Wild,
nice.
Right? Wasn't that like the first
That was clutch, right?
lip?
Do you have a favorite brand, like makeup brand now?
I actually do appreciate Makeup Forever. They have a wide palette of things, stuff that pops. I kind of like what they have to offer. I think they even have like little palettes where you can use for your lip and your eyeshadow, and they're like super poppin', so they're fun.
So can you tell me what your first memorable makeup moment was when you just knew you were feeling yourself?
Gosh, to be honest, makeup was always tough for me because I never took the time, nor did I ever really know how to apply it. So I would have to say the first time I booked a big job, somebody professional did my makeup, I was like, oh,
You felt special.
That's how they do it. And I'm like, wow, it looked
great. The beauty standards that are currently in the industry today, how have they affected your work?
Oh, that's a good question. The beauty standards today sometimes put a little bit of a question mark over my head. I think that people are very talented in what they do and how they apply, but then you always have that, we're on Instagram a lot, and that thing where everybody's eyebrows look the same, everybody's contouring the same, everybody's, and it's more of like
microwave cookie cutter
situation.
This
cookie cutter look. I'm never like looking for that type of.
So you set your own standards?
Yeah, I kind of set my own standards and just kind of hope that that's enough.
You're working, obviously, very hard.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about Just Jaimi.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Just Jaimi is my production. It's my LLC. It's something that I came up with a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I got to the point, I do a lot of things. I do like hosting. I've studied acting, modeling, throw events, producing and content creating. So that's a lot of hats, and I'm like, people barely understand as it is what I do. So how do I explain it? I'm like, well, it's just Jaimi.
Just Jaimi.
It's just me.
And so you mentioned an event and hosting and Chop It Up Sundays, I believe.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yes.
Super awesome. Brunch, right?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So I went with brunch because when I lived in New York for 3 years and I missed my LA friends. So when I came back, I'm like, I want to see everybody, but you can only do so many coffees, lunches, wines, and like, oh my gosh. So I was like, I'm just gonna have a little gathering. And I'm like, well, that's perfect because we can actually talk and hear each other. Most of us are a little bit over the club scene, so I'm like, well, what can we do?
Grown
I do
and
like
sexy.
to drink. Yeah, I still like to have my mimosas. It just kind of came about, and I spoke with the general manager. He was with it. We did one, and it was great. I brought a partner on board, and she's been great. We had a chance to work together, and then we just kept doing them. And it's been a year and 3 months. Every month we've had a Chop It Up Sunday. People have been meeting people. It's been growing.
Great for networking.
Oh, it's so great for networking and connecting and having good conversations.
Intellectual conversations.
Yes, because we're all busy and working, and it's an opportunity to kind of find out what people are doing, and if there's space for collaborating, great.
Absolutely.
Or if we can support, great.
Absolutely.
It's just a nice little mix-up of millennials. It's like genuine fun.
You guys go check it out, Chop It Up Sundays. Every second Sunday. Does it have a specific specific location?
Actually, no. We like to travel it. Sometimes we're on the west side. We might do the valley. This time we're doing downtown. We were in Hollywood. It kind of gives everybody, it keeps it fresh and alive.
So they can get it when it's close to them, or they can just follow
Travel
you
out.
around. So, Jaimi, we have a little game that we like to play here at Makeup and Mimosas.
I love games.
I want you to pick a question out and then answer it.
Name one beauty product that you can't live without. Lip gloss.
Lip gloss, you have a good brand?
Don't leave the house without lip gloss. At one point, Neutrogena had, I don't even know if they have it anymore. I don't even know what it's called. It's just like a little plain tube, a simple like silver lid and some white on it, and it was just like a little pink. It's
And
just
you know what
glosses.
I love? Everyone always says a drugstore brand or something that you can find in a really convenient place, which
Yeah.
says a lot. It's
Right.
quality product.
It's affordable. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but lip gloss is just like you can't.
My lip gloss is popping.
It has to be popping.
Got to be
Yeah.
popping. So much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Cheers. This is amazing, by the way.
I'm so glad that you like that. Find the recipe at arielamirah.com if you want to know what she's tasting right now, the signature Makeup and Mimosas mimosa. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Makeup and Mimosas. Joining us next week, we have Edom. You don't want to miss it. If you like what you saw here today and you want to keep up with Ariel Amirah TV, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Periscope.